Hello, it's your boy Miguel for the Mobile Mechanic 757. You know, I get down and get straight to the point. This particular video is going to be in reference to that I have documents, must have documents for you mobile mechanics. Ones who are starting out, and if you already have your business, trust me, these documents will make a lot of sense to you. And I'm going to tell you why. My documents are not something you can just download off the Google uh, and because stuff was slapped together. This is from my 20, 30 years of pure knowledge that I put all this stuff together and compiled in pictures and information, and everything can be downloaded through the Mobile Mechanic 757, the Mobile Mechanic 757.com. And you can just click on mobile documents and you can actually download them yourself, and you can customize them. They're all Microsoft edited. You can edit them on Microsoft and customize them for your business. Let's get down to business. The first one, and you can see this is probably about 20 pages. But this is a AC pressure chart for the new Freon and the older Freon. It also talks about different scenarios with the gauges and stuff, and I'm going to show you some pictures. It gives you scenarios with the gauges. So if your gauges, say for instance, they have air conditioning that's hot and cold, there's Freon, the compressor's working, it's going to be the the evaporator. I mean, not the evaporator, but the expansion valve. This right here will literally tell you all that stuff. It is a cheat sheet that's compiled to almost every scenario you can think of when you're looking at the gauges or you listen to what the person is saying. If their compressor is cycling on and off, if it has a clutch, then you know it needs Freon. It has a lot of good, great information in here. So, automotive repair lease of liability. If you're working on a car and the person doesn't want to get rotors and their rotors are almost falling apart and it says change the brakes, you don't want to put the brakes on and then they turn around and get in an accident and they sue you. Release of liability. It is completely perfect for that scenario, and it protects you because when you go to court, no one cares how you feel or they feel, only what the facts are. Protect yourself no matter what. I don't care if they're the most friendliest person you think they are. Trust me, when it comes to money, there is no friends. Business is business. So also, when you are doing pre and purchase inspections, by which you should do pre and purchase inspections, this one is for the customer themselves. The perfect questions to ask the private person. I take 30 minutes when I do pre-purchase inspections, and I teach them about body language, and I give them the questions to ask, and then I give them this paperwork right here. It comes with my pre-purchase inspections. If you're in the 757 Virginia area, Hampton Roads, I do pre-purchase inspections. Don't buy a car without one of these. With that being said, you get the questions to ask the private seller directly. You'll know about the dealership fees that are just nonsense, the negotiable ones. This teaches you also how to negotiate. And it tells you the things to look for that are just so obvious that I pretty much walk you through it as a customer or a customer, and I pretty much walk them through it. Pre-purchase used car inspection. This is probably around 10 pages. It gives you verbatim from the bottom of the top of the car to the very bottom of the car what to look for. Everything, mechanical, computerized. This breaks it down for you. You can't really go wrong on this whatsoever. I know it by heart, so you can just go by it, and it's a checklist. You can even make a bunch of copies and, check it off and hand it to your customer and say, hey, I checked all this stuff. This goes beyond a 21-point inspection. This goes beyond all that because I love my customers, and I don't want them to buy some kind of piece of garbage down the street, and they have put all of that money in. And cars now, since COVID has gone sky high, is October 2025. And when you go to the dealership, you're going to pay a lot of money for a new car. I just got a Toyota Highlander. you're going to pay. You really can negotiate, but you can understand these tariffs and all that stuff, you're going to pay. So when I do my pre-inspections, I really try to go through the vehicles extremely thoroughly, and these are going to be your negotiation. If you got a brand new car, then you will have to understand how to negotiate in the fees, and that's what the other paperwork I had just showed you a few minutes before. The policies, all this stuff can be edited to your business and your local state laws. Um, you got to have rules, which is boundaries. You can't just go through a business and then verbally say something and then say something in the air, and then next thing you know, your customer's saying this and you're saying that, and everybody's all confused. My stuff is completely thorough. You don't want to go to a hotel and the hotel throws you off the property because the person or the apartment, because the customer did not in any shape or way get permission for you to be on the property. I'm just giving you an example. It talks about the parts and the workmanship. It talks about the warranties, what to do if there's a problem, who is supplying the part, and who's going to be responsible for that. You or the customer. And it's specific out. Payment arrangements. I don't do payment arrangements. Trust me, you're going to want to put that in there because some people want to do arrangements with you after the fact, after you've done all that work. It talks about your refunds, threats to the associates. So if you're in an uncomfortable, hostile environment, boom, I'm going to pack up everything, leave your car just the way it is. And if I have to call the police, don't care. Then after that, I'm going to block you. And our business is now concluded. And you're still going to owe me money because I will be sending you an invoice and taking you to court. Got to have all this in there. You got to protect yourself. It authorizes for you to bring equipment on their property. Like sometimes you might have to use a transmission lift or an engine hoist or whatever. You got to make sure you got the permission to even bring that onto the property. This sounds crazy, but the person has to be over 18 for you to fix their car. You got to put that in the rules. It's crazy, but you really do. One of my favorite things is right here, the Express Mechanic Lien. I don't know how many times before I started doing paperwork and sticking with it, and nobody's an exception. I don't care how nice I am and how many times I worked on your car. For whatever reason you choose not to pay, you call the police because I'm going to hold your key, and then the police says give the key back because that's just the way it is. Well, just like a shop has a mechanic lien, you're not getting your keys back until you pay. Now, I'm not saying to go tow the person's car off the property, but you can hold their keys until they pay you. And trust me, keys are about $300 if they get a mobile locksmith to get the keys and program it. So it's a good leverage. If you hear some crunching in the background, I have a puppy German Shepherd, and she thinks she's my girlfriend or wife and follows me. So she's chewing on her bone. So I'm just letting you know that noise. But anyway, mechanic lien is extremely important because when the police show up, you can say they signed a mechanic lien. I'm holding on to the keys until they pay me. Trust me, 99.9% of the time, it works. Now, you need to check your own state laws and make sure that you have this customized to your state and local laws. I got to stress that out. Craigslist. Craigslist is on all 50 states. People, I do one-on-one consultations, by the way. I do 3 levels of consultations. If you're just starting off, you're in the middle, or you want advanced consultation, I do all 3. The MobileMechanic757.com. The MobileMechanic757.com. I had in my one-on-one consultations. This is one of the reasons why I did this particular one right here. A lot of people tell me, I have myself out there, but no one's calling me. It doesn't matter how good your ads are. If you don't have the SEO, which is the optimization, which is going to be into the algorithms with Google and Facebook and everybody else, you're not going to be found. You're just going to be lost in la la land. So my ads on Craigslist, and I give you an examples of how we do our ads and what's been working us for years, that we got it down to a fine art, and you can go into your own SEOs. I'm in Hampton, Virginia, so I'm going to give you an example. You can change your SEOs to your city. and you'll be one of the one or two first ones to pop up. I have so many people tell me, "Oh, you're the first ones that popping up when we do this." Now you got to remember, when you're doing this, is an algorithm, so it's going to take a little bit of time for it to get caught up. But everybody's using Craigslist, and in the one-on-one consultation, I'm going to tell you how to put the Craigslist and your advertisements together to build trust. You have to build trust. You can't just say, I'm a mechanic, I've been working for all this time. No one knows your credibility. Anybody can get an ASC certification, which I do have a couple of them. That doesn't mean absolutely nothing. I'm a heating and air conditioning technician. Just because I got a universal license, that's just a piece of paper. Or I got a college degree, and just because I got a college degree, it's a piece of paper. But I have no business knowledge and I have no experience. How are you supposed to trust me? So you have to show rapport to everybody and put all this together. Ignitions and misfires. On my thing, I have examples of ignitions and misfires, and explains about when you're having lean, or the car's misfiring. It explains what to look for, or the car's running rich when you do your diagnosis. It literally tells you what to look for. If it's getting too much air, or the fuel pump is weak, or your intake manifold has some kind of leaks in it, or whatever the case may be, or ignition might be, coils might be misfiring. This explains to you. This is a cheat sheet. All this stuff is being sold as separate documents. And this also tells you how to read the fuel trim. Fuel trim is extremely important. When I do my pre-purchase used car inspections, I don't care who I'm talking to, the dealership or a private person. You cannot trick the computer when it comes to fuel trim. It literally is going to tell you the heartbeat of the vehicle, how the vehicle is running, and it can't be altered. And if there's an issue, you will catch it. This is probably about 3 or 4 sheets, and it is literally telling you how to read the fuel trim and what to do when you see that fuel trims are off. This right here, it talks about the old and the new Freon. It's going to give you the pressure charts for the old and new Freon. By the way, they're completely different PSIs, so you got to know this stuff, the ambient temperatures, all these great items, guys. I have, it even breaks down what's on the manifold gauges if you need parts. But the point of the story is, these are the 9 essential documents that you must have. And I went through it slowly and thoroughly. And you can go to themobilemechanic757.com and you can click on buy documents, and you'll see these documents. There are pennies on the dollar. I don't make very much money off of this. I want you to profit. If you even made more money profiting by reading this stuff, I will be happy. And I get so many people saying you have helped me diagnose stuff so quickly just by on your cheat sheets, and your warranties and policies help me, and cord and this and all that. I went from like 65 to 70% before I had my documents for my policies of this complete drama with customers. Now 95% of the drama, it doesn't exist, because all I'm going to do is say, hey, I got your signature. You go to my website, you can see the copies of everything that I got going on and my rules, and some of the rules are more in depth on the documents versus the website. But either way, I got your signature, and it's 100% saved me in court. And the customers look at you completely different, because you can't just show up looking all dirty in some little funky car. You got to look the part, be the part, and believe in whatever it is that you're saying. It doesn't matter how good of a mechanic you are. If you don't have the documents and the business sense, you're going to 100% fail within 3 months of you trying to do this. 3 months, you will fail in your business. With these documents and you editing them, you guys are going to be successful. I don't want you to have beer money. I want you to have champagne money. I want you to be so good at what you are doing, mobile mechanics, future mobile mechanics. And I do the one-on-one consultations for those who starting their own businesses. Very, very, very scary running your own business, your IT, your customer service, and everything else. I walk you through all that stuff. I've already been where you need to be. I've already made a lot of mistakes, and I want to bring you into a level that you are extremely comfortable and you're not just accepting any kind of work because you're desperate. You want to be able to choose the customers in your business. You want customers that are going to pay, going to listen, going to trust what you have to say, and going to cooperate with you. I got you. I like to also thank all of my followers and subscribers to my TikTok and my YouTube channel. And also in my one-on-one consultations, I can talk to you about that too, because you're definitely going to have some kind of exposure, just more than just showing up in somebody's car. Trust me, you have a lot of exposure. But on my website, I have donations that I help people who are on fixed income and are on Medicaid and stuff like that. And when it comes to the parts, Afterpay is where I finance it at for those who qualify. And some people just buy the part straight out. And the labor itself is where the donations kick in at. That right there, they might not be able to afford it or everything because everything is so expensive and you're running all over the place looking for the parts, and whoever has the parts, I guarantee they're going to charge you an arm and leg, probably an eye and everything else for it. And I would be able to tell you customers where in the world that they should get their parts at to get the best price but good quality parts. But some people don't have that kind of money. I live in the exact same economy everybody else does. So I'm thinking as you would think, because I'm a consumer at the end of the day. So the donations that you give, I literally have a separate account for it, which is going to be at the Mobile Mechanic 757, the Mobile Mechanic 757. And it literally, it's an account set up. And if I see the person is truly needs help when it comes to the repairs and all that great stuff, I go into that account and I help them as the best that I can. I'm giving back to the community, and I wish to thank you guys for all my subscribers who have subscribed on YouTube and all my followers on TikTok. I couldn't do this without you, and by the grace of God. And I got you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, and follow.